Welcome to the 180. Because becoming the man God created you to be doesn't happen by accident. It happens one decision at a time. When I say the word saint, what comes to mind? A stained glass window, statue, some guy who never had a bad thought? If that's your picture, you're not alone, but it's completely wrong. A saint isn't someone who escaped real life. A saint is someone who let Christ transform their life. And that's why the saints still matter. If we look at St. Augustine, and you met him at the age of 25, you would not have thought, oh, here's a future saint. You'd have thought this guy has everything. He's brilliant, successful, popular. He has so many women at all the parties, and he's got great ambition. He spent years chasing pleasure, convinced the next relationship, the next achievement, the next experience would finally satisfy him. It never did. Then one day, Christ broke through. Augustine didn't suddenly become perfect. He became honest, and he surrendered. Years later, he wrote the words that have echoed throughout history. Our hearts are restless until they rest in you. That's not poetry, that's experience. He lived both lives. He knew what it was like to chase everything the world promised, to have everything the world promised, and he knew what happened when he finally chased Christ instead. That's why Augustine isn't just the saint that we should look to. He's proof that no past has the final word. That's what saints are. They're not superheroes, not people born holy. They're men and women who stopped running from God. Every saint has it before. Every saint has a turning point. Every saint has a story of grace. The church doesn't give us saints because God has favorites. She gives us saints because we need examples. Not examples to admire from distance, examples to imitate. And we don't pray to saints as if they had power of their own. We ask them to pray for us, just as we'd ask a faithful friend to pray for us. They're already with Christ, and they desire the same thing he desires, that we become saints too. The more you get to know a saint's life, the more you begin to see how God works in ordinary people. Their victories become encouragement, their failures become hope, their perseverance becomes a challenge. So here's your challenge this week. Don't pick your favorite saint. Pick the saint you need. If purity is your battle, start with St. Augustine or St. Charles Lwanga. If you're trying to become a better husband or father, spend time with St. Joseph. If you're leading people at work, learn about St. Thomas More, who chose integrity over his own career. If you're a young man trying to figure out your purpose, meet St. Pier Giorgio Frassati. He climbed mountains, loved his friends, laughed often, and quietly served the poor because he loved Christ. And if you have failed and continue to fail, don't stop. Read about St. Mark Jixiang, who struggled with addiction for decades. He was refused absolution because people misunderstood his condition, yet never abandoned Christ and ultimately died a martyr. There's a saint who has walked almost every road you'll ever walk. Find yours and ask that saint to pray for you. Not so you become like him, but so that by God's grace, you become the saint God created you to be. Because the goal of the Christian life isn't to collect holy heroes. It's to become one.